Oh, hi. Welcome
Hello.
to the Warriors Den. We're back. Damien's here, as always.
As always.
You're my Garth. I just realized that. You're my Garth.
Okay.
You should start bringing drumsticks. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're having a great week in For Honor Land. We are always having a good week in For Honor Land. We got always. Every week is a great week. We've got a fun show today. We will have our friend Ari on the show in a little bit. She's our writer, the source of a lot of memes or reflection of the memes that are already in the community. So we'll have her on sharing some of her favorite stuff. I thought that'd be fun. And we have a good chunk of Community Corner today. But as always, let's get to the news first.
Yes.
If you're an Xbox player, you may be interested to know we released an Xbox One X optimized version of the game this week. And we mentioned it last week on the show, but this week we have a cool trailer. Obviously, our stream is not in 4K, but the trailer does a good job of showing the differences in the versions of the game. So we're going to check it out right now. Dope. I'm an Xbox player, FYI. Everyone's going to talk shit at me in the chat now, but I am. I'm an Xbox player, and I want one of those real bad. Do you have a hookup?
I have a One X.
Can you get me a One X?
I'd like to get one too, to be honest. To exchange my Day One edition for a One X. I would love that.
Bill Gates, if you're in the chat, send a couple
please.
boxes our way.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of the show. Hey, something else that's actually really cool that's happened this week we noticed. IGN.com, they've been announcing their nominations for Games of the Year, and they do it in different categories, obviously, as all the sites do. So For Honor's been nominated for Fighting Game of the Year, and we've got a graphic there, thanks to our IGN folks. So they do, I think, their own voting, but they also do the People's Choice for each category. So if you are a fan of For Honor, if you think the game was unique and cool and an interesting new entry in fighting games, if you want to support our developers, any of that, I suggest going to IGN.com, cast your vote for Honor, and it's interesting. Like, on the one hand, I said this on Reddit a few minutes ago, awards don't matter at all. On the one hand, they don't matter at all. But I do know there's a psychological impact, right? Like, we have our wall of E3 awards.
Yeah.
Devs walk by it every day.
Yeah.
They see it every day when they're doing their work. So like in there, like there's a thing like in your head. So this is the game I'm representing. This is the game I'm working on. This is like all these awards say, you know, people thought the game was worth this. The promise of the game is worth this. And so that's in their head. And so like I think there is a positive psychological effect for the people who like bust ass on the game every week, every day. Especially our team that's working on our dedicated servers. Those guys have been staying till super late, like 2 in the morning, sleeping in the office. Too much. They should not sleep in the office. So in that respect, I think awards do matter in terms of like...
Yeah, it's always a very positive message to the team saying, hey, we support you, keep doing a good job, improving the game and all. And
so yeah, if you think any of that matters to you, it doesn't take more than a couple of seconds to go and cast your vote, so consider it. If not, I ain't mad at you. Damien will be mad at you. But thanks, everybody. And also happening this week, this is kind of cool.
Yes, first time we do that, I think.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It is the extra, let's wait for Max to sit down, the extra Loot Fest. Look, there it is. Oh, and this has like some poetry. As December brings with it dark and cold nights, receive more loot for all those who choose to fight. Is that yours, Ari?
Probably.
She said probably.
Touch. Yeah.
So yes, extra loot. What does extra loot mean?
December is bad in our game.
Yes.
Extra loot means you will get more loot.
Oh.
At the end of each match. I can't remember the exact number because what is tricky is that our loot system works with a weight system. So the weight goes up, and each time you reach a number, you get a loot. So it's not like it's not an amount.
A set amount.
Yeah.
Each match, yeah.
So this way it's not random. This way you're sure to get loot every X matches. So we can't say it's double loot or things like that because it wouldn't really be based on a match you play. But that's what we try to reach, like kind of a double loot rate.
Right.
But then because of the weighting, it's harder to give an exact number.
And just to clarify, because I saw this a couple questions, it does not include steel. We have our extra steel fests when we do those, but
we don't have it yet. To be honest, we're still working on it, but it's something we'd like to do in the future. Yes,
I want it to happen. Yep. People love that steel.
Yeah.
That was not a controversial statement. Okay, and I have here update from Damien. There's a few things going on in the game that you and the team are working on.
Yes.
So let's start right at the top.
Should we start with the big one?
Yeah.
So, I have again my 4 onion shirt.
Good dramatic zip too.
It's like I'm Superman, but Superman for the servers.
You're Onion Man.
Servers. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, and so we're working on the servers since many months now, but we're playing with those internally since several weeks now, and it's getting
all of November.
All of November is getting on pretty well. We've started the test externally, so we're playing. We're having some tests with people at home, seeing how it works and all. So it's going on pretty well so far. And then the next step for us would be to do a test, like an open test, with accessible to everyone, people who own the game, who don't own the game, to play on the servers too. Just to identify everything that can be identified, so bugs, things that work, things that are better than before, worse than before, etc. I don't have a date yet because it depends a lot on how things will go on this week.
The tests we're doing right now.
The tests we're doing right now, but it could come pretty soon.
Pretty soon?
Yeah. So as soon as it's ready.
Pretty soon. Give me camera 2. Pretty soon. It could be very soon. So stay tuned to all For Honor channels for updates on that. So, how are you doing, Davey?
You're amazing.
This is why I need that button where I can just change camera myself.
Talent. So we're keeping the external test this week, and then how it goes, we might announce the open test sooner than later.
Absolutely.
So super excited about that.
Yes.
The team is working really hard on it. And
now that we're talking about exciting, positive things, let's talk about TimeSnap.
time snap. Yeah, time snap.
What's going on there with
that we call lag
lag
compensation. And I think it changed the name again internally. It's another name, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway, the team is still hard working on it. And I don't have an ETA for the moment. What we can say is that we're also looking at the impact of the servers on it, because with servers, latency is changing. So we have new discoveries, good and bad, and it's impacting the works on features like that.
Right, so the compensation that we would do may depend
on what the servers
what the inherent latency is applying on servers. So
it's exactly. So it's also something we're working on right now, but we are doing new discoveries with the servers. Cool. So it's impacting that development.
We do know.
So we'll give more news when we know. When we know, we ship it. But right now, focus is on the servers, and but the team is working on a compensation in parallel.
And we know how important it is to everybody playing.
Yeah.
We know it's very.
It's in the fight team. They are right now. They are focused on doing the heroes rework that we already spoke about, and that feature.
Yep.
So that's really their top priorities, and balancing, of course.
Right. Cool. So, and then
we released something last week.
Yes, ranked Dominion mode.
Exactly. And we had some feedback on it about the fact that people struggle to find matches on PC especially. So we have some bugs or some problems, I would say, on the matchmaking of ranked Dominion right now. The skill parameter is not the good one. So it makes that people, when they do their unranked match, they get in a position where it's harder for them to find new matches. So that's why first match, no problem. And then second match is harder to find opponents because you are attributed a rank that you don't have yet. So anyway, it's not working the way it should. It's not working the same way as dual tournaments where it's an unranked match. We don't have any issue there. And on top, and because of that, I think we have not enough players going in ranked Dominion because they match make too long and then they say, okay, it doesn't work, don't go there. And we have another issue is that the visibility of ranked Dominion is too low. I think it's a bit hidden in the objective front. So it's not helping also to attract players. So players don't go there because they struggle to find matches, and then they don't go there because they're not aware of it. And all of that makes it that we have a pretty low population right now on ranked Dominion, much lower than what we planned and what we see in normal Dominion, in Tribute, and in other game modes. So it really shows us that there is a problem right now on ranked Dominion. And we also got the feedback that players would like maybe to have better rewards on those, to get more incentive to play on those. So we're working on all of that. I don't have an ETA, but it's really like it's servers update, so it could come in next week or something like that. It really depends on the test and how things are going. We want to change. So what we plan to do as changes, we want to change the front. We want to create a ranked front. So in the world map right now we have objective, deathmatch, and duel and brawl, and we'd like to have ranked, duel and brawl, and a battle that would encompass all 4v4 modes. Cool. It's something that we'd like to do hopefully next week if we can. So that there is a real front for ranked, and so that people are aware that there is ranked play, and inside that you would have ranked Dominion and a dual 1v1 tournament. So that's one thing for visibility. Then the matchmaking issue, we're working on it right now. I don't know when it will be done, but they need to go to the other model. So it requires code, so it requires time. It's not just a switch to plug. And same thing for the rewards. We need so we're investigating it, looking at it, etc. Then we need to validate numbers, so it will take time. And the team that is working on that is also working on many stuff for the upcoming patches. Right. So I can't hijack what we're already doing to do that, but it's something we're looking at the moment. So that's for rank dominance.
So we're tackling it in
hopefully-
a number of
So
different
it's possible
ways.
that you will have updates before next Warriors End. It's possible that we'll update you again on next Warriors End, but it's possible that you will see some updates on the game before the next Warriors End.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Another update we're working on, hopefully for next week's too, is improving the matchmaking. It's always a backlog thing that we're working on constantly. We're doing two things. We're changing how the relaxation on reputation levels work. So right now we have two buckets. We have the people below Rep 2 and the people above Rep 2 that are matchmaked together. And we'd like to give a bit more granularity inside those. So the team reworked on the matchmaking tool, and so now we can expand the parameters and do many more things that we could before. So we'd like to have more buckets of reputation to be able to matchmake players a bit more precisely, with a higher accuracy on the reputation. And we're also looking at the skill matchmaking. So we have several steps to improve it, and we will do some change next week on it. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to have players changing their behaviors to impact it. But we will change how skill matchmaking works next week. And I think so when we push it, you will have your first matches that will be pretty weird. So you will play against high-level, low-level players, etc. But in the end, it should be better.
Cool.
So during first matches, it will be weird, like during 10, maybe 20 matches, and then it will get better for everybody, for returning players, etc.
Okay. Cool. So look for that next week.
So hopefully, I can't guarantee it because depending on tests, etc. The work is done, it's validated, it's approved. We think it's good. Now it's more a deployment issue, juggling between all the versions we're doing at the same time, etc. So
yes, it's the joy of working on a live game. Things can change really quickly, and we might know tomorrow. 100% more than we know today about the timeline. So
we wanted to do it this week, to be honest. Didn't make it, so hopefully next week.
Cool. So there were some other things I thought was worth calling out with you. So people may or may not know, I spend a lot of time on Reddit and other community channels and getting people's feedback. And when it's something that seems like a good suggestion for the game, I always send it to you or whatever team it applies to, if it's audio, if it's whatever fight. And so there were a few things this week that you were involved with that I sent around that you did think were kind of interesting ideas. So we have what we call improvement requests. What does that mean?
So we have, since we're live, we adapted our production flow to be able to welcome new features that weren't planned. That could come from us, from the directors, or from the community. And we try to have a safe time in each sprint, so in every season, like 1 or 2 weeks of dev that is saved for improvements. So things we haven't planned to do, things that are not related to new season content and stuff like that. And that's how we were able to do all the improvements that were requested by the community, like the multi-execution, like many others. And so, that's how it works. So, and some of the improvements are coming from you, from the community. Sometimes I read Reddit and that's a good idea. I will create an improvement, etc. And so it goes through us. We validate it. So me, Roman, and other people of the team are saying, okay, we will go through that. We'll do that. That's okay. We need to investigate. Maybe it's too costly, etc. Because it's a balance to find. And
then it goes into the big old list of priorities.
And then it goes in our gyras or our task, and then it's scheduled. And often the next 3 months are already scheduled, maybe even more. So that's why it takes time to get into the game, but that's how it works.
Cool. So all of that said, so we wanted to call out a few of these that we have submitted improvement requests for. Again, meaning it's not going to be next week. It might not come at all if it's deemed not totally doable, but these things look good. So Damien was like, let's do it. Okay, so this is a big one that I called it a single user here, Destroy Rebel Scum, because he had a great post with a great image he drew or painted of a knight with a plume. The plume was coming off the back of the helmet, I think.
Yeah.
And so plumes, I don't know for what reason, they've become almost a meme on the Reddit. People want, knights specifically want their plumes.
Yeah.
And this guy is just sort of
On
an example
somebody
of
else
that.
than the centurion.
Yes, yes. So plumes.
Yeah, so we have a concept of an ornament that has some plumes on it. It's not exactly like in the picture of the player, because the ornament is here and not here, but it's still getting there. It's not exactly, I think, what they expect, but it's still a plumish
Plumy. Relatively
ornament.
plumy.
I think it's at the concept art level right now,
so very early.
Not coming anytime soon. But yeah, it's a request. The art team heard loud and clear.
Stop shouting plumes everywhere.
Yeah, and then maybe it means we'll do other ones after that.
Perhaps
if it's a trend, maybe it will become a trend. But
perhaps so. This was a very cool post from God Tender. It's always cool when people kind of go that extra step, like this previous one and this one, where they kind of create an image. They mock up.
What they want.
Yeah, they sort of mock up what they want to describe it. So God Tender did this with his idea of taking the symbols or embossing that is on armor and being able to resize it or move it around, stuff like that. So I sent that around, and there was a big discussion between a ton of different disciplines in art. And
yeah, because it implies a lot of tech.
Yep.
So we did a small investigation this week on that subject. Seems some parts are not feasible of what he's asking, other could be feasible. So I might create an improvement for that one.
Yeah, so we'll look into that. Cool. And then this was another one. This is for our console players. User More of a Wuss. He pointed out that it can be really annoying and toxic sometimes on console, that you can't turn off the incoming messages, the quick chat messages from your opponents. You know, the wow when they've just kicked your ass, things like that. It's obviously a big step below what people are able to grief you with on PC, but still, it's not nice sometimes to get the wow or the thanks sound, and like using those specific messages sarcastically. So we looked at what could be done on that to give users more options. Yeah,
it's basically adding an option in the game to disable quick chats.
Coming from the
teams,
opponent,
between teams.
Yeah.
So why not? I still think we can improve as well the quick chat, so add more options and things. That's also something requested a lot by the community. That could help also for that.
Cool.
But the option to disable, it's something we're looking into.
Very cool.
That we already did on PC for text chat anyway. So
yes. And we have further work coming on that as well, on the PC chat.
Yeah, the PC team is hard at work.
Yes. Great. So that was something I want to do, just sort of shout out a few names and understand that when I call out a name, most of these represent groups because they're not the single person asking for these things. Sometimes they are, but sometimes it's a common topic. So,
do you have any update on that?
So Venom Sneck asked what about the massive memory leak that causes our game to die? It's news to me that our game has a massive memory leak.
Maybe he's speaking about the GPU thing.
There's the black screen thing.
The NVIDIA, the laptop.
Right, that was the black screen.
The season 4.
If you go to our known issues list,
we have workarounds now on that.
Exactly. If you are talking about that, if you play on a laptop, or like a gaming laptop, go to the For Honor forums. Maybe Fred in the chat can link you. We have a known issues list, and it tells you sort of workarounds when we have them, and that particular one has a workaround. But I hadn't heard it referred to as a memory leak. So
no, I don't think we have a memory leak. But
we'll see. Cool. Okay. So, this was a note I made to myself. Our friends over on the For Honor Reddit, which is r/For Honor, are doing a giveaway. We're sending them a bunch of these shirts, the Season 3, the Season 3 Grudge and Glory winners shirts.
For the Knights.
For the Knights. So I think the post might be up now. If you go to our For Honor, they're giving away 15 of those shirts. I'm not sure exactly what the criteria are. That's up to them. And they're going to give away 5 shirts on the our For Honor Discord. So shout out to those guys doing that, and good luck if that's something you want. Cool. Content of the week this week. It's called the Demonic Sacrifice Effect. So the effect is 5,000 steel for idle, emote, and finish kill individually. So we've got a video, and then we'll be back with our writer Ari, to talk about some fun stuff. I can't talk ever when it comes to pronouncing the A. I don't know, Shaman, Damien. Shamian, Damien, Ari. So let's check out the video, and we'll be back with Ari in a second.
Yeah.
It happens to
Just
Ramon
let the people
sometimes.
know he's there.
Ari, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I am a little under the weather.
I've had a cough for about 4 weeks now.
Same. I think that's
Doesn't go
just
away.
winter.
It's winter in Montreal.
Montreal's gift.
Yes.
Yeah. The gift that keeps on giving.
Well, we just lost our camera,
But it's
so
okay.
that's good. Let's switch to camera 2. Ha ha!
Cool.
Hey, hi. Welcome to the Warriors Den.
The professional warriors.
So,
It's my fault.
so the problem is Max is like, I don't know,
Static.
he conducts electricity, and whenever he touches that camera, it shocks it, and then the camera turns off.
What?
Yeah, it's
That's
the
an
real
actual thing?
Yeah.
It's a real, if he walked over
my
here,
power.
He's the Flash.
Oh my God.
But
is that
he's
terrible
slow.
90s movie Powder? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I reference powder more often than you think.
Max is Powder. It just happened again. What's going on? I mean, it's fine. We got camera 2. Camera 2's great.
It's okay, it's okay.
Yeah. So, Ari, what do you do? What's your job?
Well, great question. I am the games writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
So if you see text in the game,
Yeah. Basically, yes. I was brought on to do the story mode.
you worked with Jason on that. Yeah?
Worked with Jason on the story mode, and once the game launched for all of the DLCs that have come out and ongoing, any text you see in the game, I touched in some way.
I don't like that phrasing.
She's touching
Touching it.
texts.
Yes, and you are a fan of internet culture.
I am a big fan of internet culture.
You gotta
and
keep yourself entertained, right?
You do, and a lot of, there's fun stuff that the writers get to do, like create fun backstories, and the Shaman, the Shaman marketing trailer that we did, I actually wrote, which was kind of fun. And so there's a lot of fun stuff, but then there's also the, name a million weapons.
By
And-
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And so sometimes on those, I always try and do something very cool in each character. There's themes for all the weapon and the gear names, and for a lot of the other stuff, sometimes I just dip into the well of what I think is funny.
And we always see these posts pop up on Reddit where 1 or 2 people out in the world who have the same sense of humor as you will be like, whoever wrote this is amazing. This is funny. It's like you're playing to a very specific audience within our community, which is great.
It's one of my favorite things when they use Ubisoft as the catch-all term. Like Ubisoft really enjoys memes. I'm like, no. This idiot enjoys memes.
Yeah, Ubisoft's position on memes has not been made public.
No, I don't
Her
think.
position on memes is pro.
Yeah,
I'm pro meme as well.
pro meme.
So we asked you to bring some of your favorite Easter eggs. Just
Wrote them down.
if you got some backstories on things like bot names.
Yeah. So I thought I'd make a list of some of the things that I kind of snuck in that I think are very funny, and then some stories, because I've seen on the subreddit people have asked questions about some of the bot names and stuff, and so I thought, okay, I'll explain them. So first off, I think we mentioned it before, I did put a Shrek quote into the campaign, and at one point in the samurai chapter, the Shugoki runs into the fray and yells, "Get out of my swamp." So that is, in fact, a Shrek quote.
And of course it would be the Shugoki, too.
Yes.
That's the perfect Shrek.
I thought it was so funny. And I remember I wrote the line down, and Jason approved all the lines that I put in. And so I saw him reading it, and he looked at me, and I'm like, huh? And he was like, fine, you get one.
You get one Shrek
Get
reference.
one. So that made it in.
I like to think of Jason, too, just having in his head a backlog of Shrek references. Like, yeah, that's a Shrek reference.
Yeah,
Big Shrek fan.
Ari, I know that
The
one.
Dark Lord.
Yeah, loves that Shrek. Another fun thing is, and people on Reddit actually figured this out, which I am so proud of, you little nerds. You're the best. For the Highlander, a lot of the stuff that the Highlander says or does or his moveset is all named after my family. So my family is Scottish origin, Clan McGillivray. So Clan McGillivry's battle cry is "Dun McGlass."
Oh, my God.
Our
You have immortalized your clan.
I have.
I don't know how well they fought at their time.
Listen, we're not a good clan. One of the fun things about like Scottish tartan is all the colors on tartan mean something.
Yes.
And yellow means wealth.
Okay.
My clan tartan has no yellow. they're gone.
You're the last of the line.
Like the clan motto is "Touch not the cat."
Great.
And that's one of the moves.
Touch not the cat.
Yeah. So
What?
a lot of the it means don't mess.
With
You're gonna get clawed. Just don't mess.
Okay.
Don't start something.
So it's you mess with the bull, you get the horns, but
Basically,
it's a cat.
it's touch not the cat.
It's a cat with like little
Yeah.
little claws.
And it's a cute little cat. Look it up, it's fine.
That's amazing.
But I do love that when people heard Dun McGlass the first time, they looked it up, found out it was a place in Scotland, Googled it, found out that it was the war cry of the McGillivray clan, looked at the writer list,
Yeah.
found that one of the writers was McGillivray, and was like, hey, wait a minute. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go.
The internet's crazy.
Nailed it.
If anyone watching wanted to murder any of us right now, they could.
Oh, easy.
Very easily.
I put my address online like an idiot.
What?
Listen,
Don't say that on a live stream.
it's fine. Send me presents. Next up is I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yes, as well, me.
So, and I saw this week, someone put out a video, and it's all the wrestling finish kills, executions for the Warlord.
Yep.
And yes, you nailed it. That is
Yes.
100% correct.
We're actually going to show that later on the community corner too, because it's so
Man.
good. Yeah,
I loved it.
And I'm fighting that battle as well. We have a friend we work with named Yoan. He's sort of one of the guys who kind of works on the upcoming content. And executions are one of those things. So I'm always saying, hey, Yoan, how are we doing on more wrestling moves?
Yeah, we get
And then he'll mutter something in French and be like, we're working on it. Yeah, sure you are. I think he just says that to make me go away. So we'll see.
And
We'll
it
see.
works.
Every day, yeah, it does. It makes me go away.
There was one move that I actually legal came back and asked me to change,
Oh, really?
and it was the tombstone pile driver. So I actually had to change that one.
Is that, you just literally called it the
I called it the tombstone pile driver.
Nothing clever, just literally
Yeah,
the
no.
tombstone. Okay.
Yeah, and that's when I learned just change it slightly. Like I believe the warlord has attitude adjuster.
Adjuster, yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Creative license.
Yeah. So if you enjoy wrestling, if you see something in the game and you're like, oh, I wonder if, yes, 100% that's on purpose. So a lot of the bot names,
Yes. Of which I have one.
you do.
Yeah.
The Pope.
The Pope is much better at the game than I am.
Well, same. So a lot of the bot names, we wanted them to sound like actual users. Like, you know, when you think about, okay, what kind of names do people make when they're making their gaming accounts? So for the original game, we had a bunch that were already written. And when I kind of started taking over for the DLCs and stuff, I just started putting my own stuff in. And as a result, a lot of the early bots for DLC 1, they're all my family members. So my mom is a level 3 Shugoki who has killed me more times than like I want to admit. So
Does she know that?
yes.
Oh,
she was like, send me a picture. So a lot of the
Why did you make your mom a Shugoki?
well, here's the thing. I name the bots, but I'm not the one who assigns them.
Okay.
There's another guy, and every now and then, like, I'll send a list of bots, and he'll be like, Ari, I don't, really? That's what you want it? I'm like, yeah, put it in. Don't worry about it. Kids will love it.
Perfect.
So I put as many memes into the game as possible.
Right.
And my favorite one that people really liked, so I'm a big fan of Reddit, and one of my favorite Reddits is Me IRL.
Right.
And the big joke on Me IRL is no bamboozle.
Right.
Like, I'm going to do this thing, no bamboozle. And so the second I saw, so I see all the characters' movesets so that I can name them. And the second I saw the gladiator, like the fake out punch, I'm like, that's a bamboozle. And I actually Googled it because I didn't know the origin of the word bamboozle. So I'm like, I hope this isn't racist or bad.
Which so many times on Reddit
Oh my God.
happens to be the case.
So I had to Google it, and I'm like, no, it's good, it's good, it's good. So I called it bamboozle, and I remember, like, the second people saw the moveset, they're like, no. I think that
They thought it was fake.
they thought it was fake.
Because there was a leak before the game, before the character was available, and someone posted it, and no one believed it, including me. No one believed it was real. I
know.
I was like, oh, that's
You're like,
funny.
that's-
Bamboozle.
yeah, this is obviously fake.
And then I sent it to you. I was like, check this out. You're like, nope.
No, that's
a
what I
thing.
named it.
So what's the origin of bamboozle?
Yeah.
It's
if you
just
Google
it's just one of those old timey words that, like, we ceased
From like the
to use.
1800s.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like, it doesn't reference anything, so I was like, good. So that's my favorite meme that I
Yeah.
put into the game. My favorite line that I wrote into the campaign that the mission designers hated so much they begged me to take it out, which only made me want to leave it in more, and it is in the game. So at one point in the Samurai, the player character is with Momiji, the Nobushi, and because the mission had to be an escort mission, Momiji had to get injured. And so they
yes.
decided that she would get injured by getting shot with an arrow. And
We see where you're going.
Yes.
we had to make sure that she had to limp, but could otherwise fight. So they're like, what if we put the arrow to the knee?
Uh-huh.
And, like, that was already set. The mocap was done. And I was like, I think we have to point this out more.
Yeah.
So when I was writing the barks that the characters say back and forth, I wrote Momiji a line that says, my knee, I hope I can keep adventuring. And the first time the mission team saw it, they're like, no, this is too much. You can't take that out. And they complained, and I'm like, no, it's staying in. What you gonna do about it?
Yep. And it's there to this day.
To this day, it's there. And lastly, on my list of Easter eggs and things that I think are dumb or funny, there was one scene, a full cinematic that I wrote, and it was the raider going to free Stygander, and he faces Civ. And I wrote this long scene about the backstory between them. There was some back and forth. And of course, it was too long. It was way too long. So they shot it, but then they had to start editing it down. And so what remained was Civ yelling, Raider! 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 So there was a whole scene that I wrote.
There are chunks of dialogue in between
Chunks
those
of
raiders.
dialogue that was like explained that they knew each other and this and that, and it all got cut down to that. And after sitting with the mission team, I moved to the sound team. And 3 times a day, like the sound team, they'd be on their headsets, and all of a sudden one would be like, Raider! So it became a meme on the floor before it ever became a meme anywhere else.
Amazing.
And, like, to this day, it's the thing that I cringe about. And I have to, like, every now and then be like, that's not how I wrote it. That's not what I meant. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
One of my favorite days, I can't remember what season this was, and maybe you know, was when people discovered the cracking open a cold one bot.
Yes.
And then the responses were like, oh, well, it'd be amazing if they had one that says the boys. And then, like, I think it was just like a couple hours later,
Season
someone
3.
posted that.
Yep.
That made me proud.
So moving on to bots, just real quick, as I talk for 10 minutes. On Reddit, I saw someone pull up specifically Jason's Weird Pizza.
Yep.
And they said, I bet there's a fun story behind this one. And so I actually replied on the thread, and I was like, if they ever let me on the live stream, I'll tell it. So I'm here, and I'll tell you the story behind Jason's weird pizza. So I have a friend named Jason, and we're going over to his house to like hang out and probably play some Resident Evil 7 VR, which, by the way, is not easy. And he's
You're
like,
talking about
I'll order
Jason
some pizza.
Vandenberg?
No,
No, a different
no.
Jason.
Oh, God. I can't even imagine Vanderberg eating pizza.
I
I
can't
think
imagine
he
him.
eats pizza. yes, he does.
You heard it here first. The Dark Lord eats pizza.
No, like aside, when he and I were working on story mode for lunch, he would have 2 Ensures. He would just crack open like 2 Ensures, and then for the rest of the time it was Diet Cokes, and I'm like, you're gonna die.
Wow.
Like you are gonna die,
Wow.
sir.
Amazing.
Anyway, so I'm going to my friend Jason's house, and he's like, I'll order pizza. Cool. So getting on the metro, and he goes, okay, gang, I ordered the pizza. I'm like, whoa, sorry, you didn't discuss what we were going to get on that pizza. And he's like, no, I just got stuff that everyone would like. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you put on the pizza? And he's like, oh, okay. So I got pepperoni, sausage. I'm like, all right,
Sure.
all right. That's all right. Mushrooms, I'm like, oh, I don't like them.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. Olives. I got bell peppers. I got pineapple.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, wait, what? And then he's like, yeah. I'm like, well.
All on one pizza.
Yeah, is there anything else? He goes, oh yeah, and I got feta cheese. And I'm like, you got an 8-topping pizza with the worst toppings I've ever. Like, those are the most controversial things you
Yeah.
can put on a pizza without discussing with anyone. So get to his place just as the pizza arrives. And because it was 8 toppings, it was a $50 Domino's pizza.
Oh my God.
And he opens it up, and I'm like, buddy, that's the grossest looking pizza I've ever seen. And he was like, I just wanted to make sure I had a little bit of everything for everyone. I'm like, you're eating that pizza, and we're ordering our own pizza.
For $50, he could have ordered like 5
No,
pizzas
exactly.
from
He
Domino's.
was like, he felt so dumb. And I'm like, you're eating that pizza. And he did.
Incredible.
It was the grossest thing I'd ever seen. And it became like a friend meme.
Sure.
Where if someone does something insane, you're like, wow, way to Jason's weird pizza hit. So, that's Jason's weird pizza.
We have a question from the chat. I don't know if you can speak to that.
Sure.
So the question, do you know who asked this question, Maddie? No? The question is, what is the story of I Don't Speak Japanese?
So once again, we have, like the missions were already kind of set up.
A lot of people ask.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
I'm very pleased with this because that is one that I wrote. And we have a mission where our Valkyrie is trying to, figure out how to get to the monastery of the temple. And so she's going through this whole area to try and interrogate people,
Sure.
to try and figure out where they're supposed to be going. And you do this whole thing, and because our game has the native language, you never understand what the samurai are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets to the end and finishes questioning, and Stigander comes up and goes like, well, what did you find out? And she just goes, I don't speak Japanese. And it made me laugh so hard. Just the idea that, of course, she has no idea what these people
Right.
are saying. Why would she? And it was one of those things where, again, I wrote it down and I pitched it to Jason and I just waited. Like, I always just go like, okay, is he going to laugh? And he laughed out loud. And I'm like, it's in the game.
Amazing. So rather than
And because there was a story behind that as well, is that people thought that because the game is in Japanese, of course, and in Japanese, she doesn't say I don't speak Japanese but it's subtitled I don't speak Japanese. And that's the thing.
Right, that's right.
So
So
that's amazing. So when you
the
switch
actress
to
says
Japanese,
something.
the actress doesn't say don't speak Japanese, obviously, but it has wrongly subtitled. So in subtitles, it say I don't speak Japanese in Japanese,
God.
which is insane.
My
But in
God.
fact, it said something like I didn't get it or whatever,
Yeah.
something more.
Yeah.
But it's subtitled I don't speak Japanese.
Holy
in Japanese,
shit.
of course.
That's
Anyway.
so good.
Oh, my God.
I forgot about that. Amazing. You got one more? You got a couple more?
Yeah, we got a couple more. If
You do
have
gear?
time.
You do gear also?
I got some gear.
Yeah.
So Giro is more less fun on the gear because I kind of wanted it to be more in universe. But there's a couple things that I just kind of like snuck in. And one of them, and these are actually credit to Kim, who came on for a while to help me out as co-writer. And she did a ton of research. So she was doing the Aramusha's weapons. And one of the Aramusha's weapons is very nautical themed, and there's like octopus tentacles. And so she called it the fisherman's wife, which on the surface,
On
you're
the
like,
surface is like,
that's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. But if you Google it, it's a very sexy thing.
I don't know if I'd call it sexy per se, because I did Google it.
Sexual.
But it is sexual, indeed.
I actually saw, I think it was on Steam or one of the communities, someone actually did a deep dive of the Aramusha's weapon naming, and he got everything right. Like, he got every single little thing that
Do you know this one,
Kim
Damien?
had done.
No.
No, I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, look it up.
Okay.
It's
There could be children.
It's M for mature. It's M for mature. But yeah, I remember Kim told me that. She's like, well, it dates back to the 1800s, so I don't think it counts as pornographic. I guess there's a statute of limitations.
On how sexual something is. My other favorite, and this one's also Kim, was the Edgelord.
Yes, people like that one.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a little wink
Yeah.
to all the fans. And lastly is the Highlander has a sword called Hardy,
Okay.
which Hardy in English means like, you know, tough,
Yeah, you're hearty.
you're hardy.
Yeah.
But why it's actually called Hardy is because I was drinking with one of the marketing guys from Far Cry 5, and his weird thing is whenever he's drunk, he talks about Tom Hardy. And like he just loves Tom Hardy, and he'll always be like,
Who doesn't?
like, have you watched this movie with Tom Hardy? He's a really good, like, just going on about Tom Hardy. And so as a joke, he's like, you know what you should put in the game? Tom Hardy. And I was like, you know what? I will.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, challenge accepted. So the Hardy blade and the Hardy hilt and the Hardy handle for the Highlander,
God.
it's Tom Hardy.
Oh, I wonder if Tom Hardy knows that.
I don't think he does.
I too have had my fair share of obsession with Tom Hardy. He's amazing.
He seems like the best dude.
Yeah. The picture series of him with his puppies.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow. We could do a whole separate stream about Tom Hardy.
Yeah. It's now the Hardy stream.
Well, that's incredible. I don't know if any more questions are coming from the chat, but we don't want to stay here forever.
No, I want to go eat, please.
But you mentioned Kim, and you and Kim have a podcast.
We do, actually. Kim and I have a podcast that you were a guest on.
Yeah.
It's called The Sexiest Podcast.
Yep.
And it is the least sexy podcast in the world.
That's exactly right, especially the
Yeah.
one I'm on.
Well, that's it. You were on for sexiest TV themes.
Yeah, TV theme. So every episode is the sexiest something,
Yeah.
and it's like a list, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was sexiest TV themes.
Actually, because of that episode, we put in a bot name just for you. And the community saw it immediately. And it was tea salad and scrambled eggs.
Yes!
So that bot is tossed salad and scrambled eggs from the theme song to Fraser.
Which is a very sexy theme song.
Yeah. Which you sang on
yeah.
the...
Yeah, if you want to check it out, maybe I'll tweet it later.
Yeah.
Speaking of Twitter, you have a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter, and it's the same as my Reddit. It's McGillivray514.
Not easy to remember.
Nope.
You need to rebrand
And
yourself.
it's
Sorry.
not done my glass.
No,
No.
you should make it
Should
down
be
the
done
glass.
Listen.
Or just search Twitter for Soft Baby.
No, I changed
You changed?
it.
Oh, man.
When Twitter like gave you that 50 character thing,
Yeah,
I decided to go crazy and put my full like 3-name name.
sure.
But I'll always be a soft baby.
Cool. I was going to find a way to segue to the Mr. Belvedere story, but there's no way. But you should check out that podcast that I did if you ever want to hear a story about Mr. Belvedere
Oh, it's good.
canceling production because he sat on his own balls. So anyway, Ari, I hope you stick around for the community corner.
Oh my
Because
God.
we have a lot of great clips today.
All right.
Thank you for your contributions to the game and for joining us on the show.
Oh man,
Yeah?
it took forever, but here I am.
We had you on once.
Finally.
People might remember she was on once. We did a dramatic fan fiction reading.
Yeah,
With like spooky lighting and everything.
It was fun.
That was fun.
Some
People
good
don't write
stuff.
enough fan fiction.
They do not.
Although one guy just last week wrote like a whole novel.
My God, I saw that. Incredible.
And there's the comic book. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on.
People are doing good things. Y'all are doing good things. Keep doing it.
It's true. Let's do community corner, Max. Why not?
Make it happen.
Whatever you want. It's almost like you've done this before. So we didn't even mention that. Yeah, so Ari used to do my job on Far Cry Primal.
Far Cry 4.
And 4?
I didn't do that.
See?
Yeah, Kim and I were com devs on Far Cry
Amazing.
4. We used to
I'm
do the
learning
weekly
so
live
many
stream.
things today. I should come more often.
You should. You should. So we've got a bunch of great clips. People are always doing good stuff on the Reddit. That's where I find most of them. Some people send them to me directly. Feel free to do that. Just send me a direct message on Reddit, and I'll check it out. It doesn't mean you'll, just like our improvements thing, doesn't mean you'll get on the show. They're not always the best, but I still watch them all.
Dang, man.
So we're gonna start things off with a rock block of Shugoki clips, because there's a lot of good Shugoki clips this week.
Bless Shugoki.
Maybe we'll see if your mom is in there. I don't know. So Basic Bob 99. Basic Bob 99 gives us the Shugoki mid-air slam dunk.
Hai catturato la zona A. Hai catturato la zona A.
Oh my god, that's real good.
This time we have a GIF. So when we have a GIF, that means we can talk over it. Just FYI. So don't tell me secrets during this. We've got a GIF, God, from Douchebag. A douchebag on Reddit.
It's always so hard when you have to say their names.
It's not douchebag, it's douchebag.
Douche.
Counter shaman hug.
Shaman.
Sorry. It's a counter shaman hug.
Oh, no.
Just catches her and kills her. So satisfying. Play it again. And yes, the victory spam emotes.
Is that the same Shug?
It's just the same place, I think. Amazing.
Hug gone wrong.
This is called another counter shaman hug from Well Bang OK. It's another GIF.
I love the concept of counter hug.
Right? A counter hug. I gotta start employing counter hugs in my life. Yes. See, like catches
oh my
her.
God.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Man,
Pretty
what
good.
does Shugoki love?
People love the Shugoki. I think there's just a lot of character there.
He seems like a chill dude.
Yes. And like the sit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would hang out with a Shugoki.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one from Lemon Baguette, another GIF when Shugoki. No? Why not? Sure, Lemon Baguette. When Shugoki wants to be Shinobi. This one made me laugh out loud when I saw it.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's just so sad. I'm out of here.
You gotta go.
It did work. I mean, the Kensei did not follow at all.
He
Like
was
the
so
Kensei was just like,
shocked
oh,
about that behavior.
All right, so this one we've got a good chunk of a clip here from Marco Yolo.
YOLO.
Marco Yolo. It's called Aramusha, the greatest anime hero. I think you'll like this because you're an anime fan. So this one's a bit longer, so we'll be back in a couple minutes after this clip.
お前はもう死んでいる。
You're going to love this. Trust me.
You get a peek up and kill?
まだまだ。
やれやれだぜ。
百裂拳。
正真正銘の史上最低の男だぞ。影から光。
Yo, I guess you outsmarted me, man.
お前ごときが使えるほど甘くはない。
次にお前は何をするだ許さんという
何をするだ許さん。
Sparkling.
Just an amazing ending.
Why not?
So good. That was Marco Yolo. Good work.
That was so well put together.
It really was. It actually made it tough because we had a second Aramusha video that was sort of the same approach, but we couldn't do two of similar.
No, definitely can't.
And there's also too much of the people like doing like the screeching thing in the middle of videos or like hurts your ears.
Nah.
Don't do that. I don't want to show those clips. That said, I think we might have one on the show. Okay. So earlier on the show, you mentioned the Warlords WWE reference executions. This video is by Long Dong of the Law 00. Warlords WWE executions. Let's check it out.
Oh, and got it! Side effect by Matt Hardy. Here it comes! The most electrifying move in all of sports entertainment. John, you felt this. I felt this. The people's elbow. And now Rowan going up. There you go. For the attitude adjustment. And his name is John Cena. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
As an aside, my friends bought me a 3-foot John Cena that just
3
kind
feet?
of, yeah, he's in my living room.
Can you see him?
Good joke. That's a good joke. I also want to point out, because if you notice, my naming convention was very similar, except for the first one, because Matt Hardy's side effect is a variant on the Heart Foundation's.
Wow.
Yeah, so I actually named mine after the Heart Foundation as opposed to
So
Matt
much
Hardy.
knowledge.
Going deep.
Yeah, that's why it's the Heartbreaker, or the Heart Attack, sorry.
As in like Brett and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah, and the British Bulldog. He was part of the Heart Foundation.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, see,
Anyway,
I learned something
deep
today.
cuts.
That's when wrestling was at its best. Okay, our friend Hell Euphoria is back at it again. This is Against the Odds number 30, 6v1 skirmish clutch with Highlander.
Heyo.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I can't imagine what that felt like.
Yeah.
We were saying, like, imagine being the guy's team members just watching him do
Yeah.
that. And then imagine being him. So
Oh,
cool.
that's crazy.
I
Well
love
done.
the side ladder.
Yes.
We won't fix that.
Yes. Bizarre,
It's really cool.
bizarre ladder slide.
Careful with those kilts.
Yeah. Wow, good point. I'm going to go back and watch that in slow-mo. A video from Zudi. This is The Real Way For Honor Is Meant to Be Played.
I really appreciate that everyone was
cool.
on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
The Shugoki hesitated. He wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But
It's
so cool.
Yeah, is this for me or not? I don't know. So just a reminder, best fighting game of the year right there. Go vote at IGN.com.
I'd like to read our Yelp review.
I love it.
All right, from Virus X. I'm proud of myself.
Right? Good for you.
Victory!
Cool dudes don't look at the dead bodies.
Yeah.
It's like walking away from an explosion in an action movie.
I'm going to point something out just because a bunch of people asked it in the last video. When I write the one-liners that they say when they hit their special moves, I write them in English. And it's when they re-record in native that they actually change it. So I don't know what it's going to sound like, with the exception of being done the glass. I know exactly what that was. But like, so what they're saying, I wrote in English, and then they just put on the Latin, Icelandic, or Japanese on top of that.
Amazing.
So if it sounds
Whatever the-
cool,
yeah.
hey.
Whatever the closest version of that is in
Yeah,
those
exactly.
languages. Amazing. Cool. This is from C6. When the Valks go to the Colosseum.
Victoria!
It was nice to see the skeletons again.
Yeah. Skeleton warriors.
We've had 2 weeks in a row with great Valk gameplay. Good job, Valks.
I really like the Valk.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
Okay, from High Cracked. If this is not legendary, then I don't know what is. Let's take a vote. Was that legendary?
It's if he didn't fight in the fire, I would say no. But fight in the fire is legendary.
That was pretty legendary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote legendary.
Okay, you're a legend, Raider. Okay. Cheeky Waffle.
That's a name.
That is a good name.
That's a good one.
Shin Boy, gotta go fast.
Oh my god.
That's all it is. It's amazing.
Sometimes something is so dumb,
Yeah.
it's just perfect.
Exactly.
That was a pitch perfect
He
dumb joke.
reproduced the effect of the
Yeah.
red,
Yeah.
which is not easy.
No, that isn't easy.
God, gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. All right, this is our final video. I know people are breathing a sigh of relief, but
Thank
this
God.
is from. This is a long one. This is from one of our favorites, Zero Crack. This is the life of Shaman.
Not
Shaman?
bad.
Oh, whatever.
Jesus.
Doesn't matter.
We will be debuting the full hero trailers for Aramusha and Shaman. Shaman.
Everybody look at me, me. I walk in the door, you start screaming. Come on, everybody, what you here for? Move your body around like an info. Everybody get your little crack around. All you crazy people, come on, jump around. I wanna see you walk the knee. Either one of you will be
Holy! What is that? What the fuck is that?
Stop! He's already dead.
This is fine.
What?
Wish us luck and pray for us through this terrifying journey.
It's
What?
just dabbing. Holy shit.
The devil is dubbing.
The devil is dabbing. So good. So good.
Oh my god, that was so
That was
good.
cool.
Yes.
Tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard. Oh my
Thank
god.
you, everybody, for those clips. As always, please keep up the great work. Make sure to tune back next week. The next couple weeks, we have very good shows.
Good show.
Do we?
Good show.
Good show. So check back next week. And right now, we're going to run a raffle for combat packs. So Fred can hit the raffle in the chat. Yeah.
To celebrate Saint Nicholas. That was
Sure.
yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we talk about this last week?
What?
That the thing where he steals children and Krampus
He gives you chocolates.
and then gives Damien chocolates, I guess. Depending
I'm
on
a
your
good
country,
boy.
the terrible things Santa does.
Oh, okay.
He's got yeah, it's bad. But 'tis the season.
That's
My
why,
scent
that's
is
why we give
unproblematic.
looks this week.
Okay.
That's the only, you need to thank Saint Nicholas.
Thank you,
for
St.
that.
Nicholas.
Thank you, Saint Nicholas.
Thank you, St. Nicholas.
And like I mentioned earlier, check out the Reddit for the giveaway for the shirts. And check out IGN.com if you want to vote For Honor for Best Fighting Game of the Year. We'd appreciate it.
Pretty sure it is. I just watched a bunch of clips.
Yeah,
and
those
the game
clips-
looks pretty good.
Yep, I agree. So thank you, everybody. Ari, thank you for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next week. See ya.
See you.